Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we got the most embarrassing moments in NBA history. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. What is your most embarrassing moment of all time? I know for me personally, I remember I was trying out for the basketball team. I believe it was in high school. And I was kind of backtrotting on the court and stuff, getting back on defense. And I leaned a little bit too far back, and I literally fell on my ass. And it wasn't just embarrassing in that regard, but I actually got injured, man. My only basketball injury is an ass injury. So please drop a like for the ass injury, bro. I need my confidence back. Just thinking about it brings me down.
Now, throughout NBA history, there's been plenty of embarrassing moments big-name players want you to forget. Now, with the Boston Celtics continuing to trend to this day, one of their all-time greats of recent decades, Paul Pierce, not only helped stamp the team as one of the best in the early 2000s, but he also had an embarrassing moment that's probably going to last forever. During Game 1 of the 2008 NBA Finals against the Lakers, Paul appeared to be hurt under the basket. He was eventually helped off the court by his teammates, leading him to the back, where he was eventually wheelchaired out. But he thought because of all this effort being taken, the injury was pretty serious. The look on Paul's face after this apparent injury and instant aid from medical staff and teammates made it look like an emergency situation.
Yeah, that's a grade A acting job right there, Paul.
Like a season-ending injury, Paul got an ovation from the Boston crowd as he came sprinting back out.
He was getting juiced about that. He loved being in that spotlight.
Many insiders over the last decade believe that there was a part of the story missing because the severity of the injury combined with him running back out just didn't add up. And this year on ESPN, right before Game 3 of the 2019 NBA Finals, it was the 11-year anniversary of that specific wheelchair game. And when it was brought up, Paul Pierce said, "I have a confession to make. I just had to go to the bathroom."
Oh my
Chauncey
God.
Billups asked why he needed a wheelchair for the bathroom, Paul said, "Something went down. I had to clean up. Enough said." Paul Pierce dookied on himself, dude. After the guys clowned on him for a bit, and the millions of people watching the finals had seen Pierce admit his confession, Pierce tweeted out and said, "Sorry to bust."
That's not true. You're joking, Paul. Oh man. That is nasty,
y'all haters bubbles, but the only pooping I did July 5th, 2008 was on the Lakers. Hashtag facts, hashtag haters gonna hate. Now, to no one's surprise, J.R. Smith makes this list, as he's constantly done questionable things throughout his career, and these embarrassing moments definitely play a factor as to why he's not on an NBA team today. Back in 2014, when J.R. still played for the Knicks, there was a time when he became one of the league trolls. J.R. went as far as beginning to troll players on the other team by untying their shoes.
That was horrible. I remember that.
J.R.'s first successful attempt was when the Knicks played the Mavericks, and J.R. untied Sean Marion's shoe during a free throw.
Garbage, man.
This wasn't specifically against the rules, but J.R. is a one of a kind, so of course he's going to be the one to do this. Now, the NBA warned Smith not to do that anymore, but just 3 days later in a game against the Pistons, J.R. decided to try and untie Greg Monroe's shoe, but came up unsuccessful when Greg realized what he was doing. A lot of people publicly criticized Smith for doing this, as it really made no sense at all. He obviously wasn't going to get away with it, and shortly after the second incident, Smith was fined a ridiculous $50,000 for untying shoes.
Damn, man.
Knicks coach at the time, Mike Woodson, spoke about his player and the whole untying shoes deal
when
he said, "I've always said I don't condone things that I know you shouldn't do. No, I'm not happy about this. He was warned. He comes back and he makes the same mistake. It's not right. I just got the information. I'm going to address it Thursday when he comes in here for work." It's unacceptable. It really is. It's unprofessional. That's the only word I could use. You can't do that.
Professional and J.R. Smith don't belong together.
At the end of the day, he's got to grow up. These things have got to stop. Now, J.R. Smith addressed the issue on Twitter saying, "Huge apologies to my team, to the league, and most of all, you the fans."
Yeah, the PR person probably wrote that up.
Where they discussed many topics, and one question asked was if he cares about the fines, and he said, "I do care about the fines because it's a loss of money, but other than that, I like to have fun. I would do the shoelace thing again if there wasn't a fine, but now that I'm in my 10th year in the NBA, I take the game more seriously than I did when I was in my first 5 or 6. Now, if you know J.R. Smith...
See, that's the issue I have with players in that case. It's what do you mean now you're taking it more seriously? You should be taking a serious damn game 1, bro. Day 1 of your NBA career.
Also comes as no surprise that he kept up his ridiculous antics throughout his entire career.
Early in the
2016 season, JR and the Cavaliers were playing an away game against the Bucks, and with J.R. Smith in the game, he was supposed to play defense, but instead saw no friend on the opposing team and decided to dap him up. During that second quarter with the Cavaliers down 51-50, JR walked over to Jason Terry, and as he distracted him, it shook up the entire Cavaliers team, and JR's guy in the pin was left wide open for a dunk. The team was immediately confused. Now, although JR's defense wasn't the reason the Bucks won 118-101, after the game, JR spoke with reporters who obviously asked him about the situation, and he said, "I don't even remember that. My bad. I didn't even know I was in the game." Cavaliers coach Ty Lue also spoke about JR's embarrassing moment when he said, "It was an embarrassing moment. Me and JR talked about it. We're just going to move forward. We had a discussion about it. We felt embarrassed about it. It was an embarrassing play. We talked about it, and we're moving on." JR eventually gave a real answer surrounding the situation after a big deal was made because of him apparently forgetting he was in the game, but Smith eventually said, I said it more in a joking manner because you can see what happened. Obviously, I wasn't paying attention. For me to just sit there and tell you I wasn't paying attention makes it plain and boring somewhat, especially when you're asking a question you already know the answers. But at the same time, I still have to give that boring answer for whatever reason. Now, the embarrassing moments for J.R. Smith, as you could have guessed, don't stop there. What's gone down as the worst mistake made by an NBA player came during the 2018 NBA Finals, in which the one and only legend himself, J.R. Smith, was involved. At the time, the Cavaliers were looking to make an instant impact on the series by taking down the Warriors in Oracle. Many were already counting Cleveland out because Golden State had Kevin Durant, but LeBron James had something else to say about it. LeBron was having arguably the game of his career, pretty much making any type of shot he took. It was shining with 49 points as the fourth quarter.
Bro, how's that not a foul? Look at that, man. Guy's damn arm wrapped around him. That's why nobody likes the Warriors.
Coming to an end. With just a few seconds left, he dished the ball to George Hill, where he was fouled and sent to the free throw line. With the score being 106-107,
should have held on to it, LeBron.
Lead back as George knocked down the first and tied the game. With pressure at an all-time high and all eyes watching, Hill misses the second free throw, and that's where J.R. Smith grabs an offensive rebound. But instead of going back up for a shot or finding an open teammate, he ran out thinking they were ahead and dribbled out the clock with a furious LeBron James in disbelief. As time expired, nobody could believe what they had just seen, and many felt like this was the exact moment LeBron decided it was time to head to LA, and we didn't see him talking to anybody on the bench. Now, of course, heading into overtime, the team was stunned. They lost all their momentum of the game.
It's so funny to this day, man.
To a 124-114
he looks so
victory in
pissed.
OT. After the conclusion of the game, Cavs coach Ty Lue told a reporter about JR saying he thought it was over. He thought that we were up one.
It is that bad, but let's be honest, George Hill should not choked the line, man. If you would have made your free throw, it would have been a non-story because it wouldn't have happened.
J.R. Smith gave many answers about it, some saying that he thought they were up, some saying that he didn't know, and so during
he might have thought that George Hill intentionally missed, you know, it's your job to know the score, obviously, dumbass NBA player like that. It's like, come on, bro, you gotta know that. But, like, George Hill, he might have thought that George Hill intentionally missed it. And, you know, so that way it would like ran out the clock or something. I don't know.
LeBron's post-game press conference.
I'm trying to make logic.
JR thought they were up one. LeBron said, "How do I know that?" And then the reporter asked if he discussed anything with JR, and LeBron said no. They asked me if I talked to JR about it. I said no already. I knew it was a time game. We were down one. George Hill went up. He made the first one. We got the offensive rebound. You know, I thought we were all aware of what was going on. That's my view. I don't know what JR was thinking. I don't know what question you're trying to ask me. The reporters continued to ask LeBron about this until he just pretty much walked out of the interview. It was then later reported that LeBron broke his hand after game one in the locker room punching a blackboard, which is why he didn't have patience with the media asking him nonsense that he wouldn't know the answer to. But to this day, many still feel like this J.R. Smith moment combined with everything else he's been doing throughout his career is why he may never play for another team again. Now, it's no doubt the Warriors themselves have kind of become an embarrassment this year after Kevin Durant got injured in the finals and eventually left for Brooklyn. Obviously, Klay Thompson got hurt in the same series and at the very beginning of the new.
By the way, guys, if you are not subscribed to my main channel, Crispy Flakes, I'm actually doing a really cool video today about the Golden State Warriors, so go check out that channel, man, and that video. It's gonna be a great time.
Year, Steph Curry also got injured, sending Golden State instantly to the bottom of the league. Now, despite a one-of-a-kind player like Steph suffering many injuries during his career, he hasn't really had many embarrassing moments, but there's one that he'd like to forget that came last season. On January 2019, in a game against the Lakers, Curry had an embarrassing moment when he was going up for a dunk that he never attempted before. Late in the third quarter with the Warriors up 107-71, Curry stole a pass from Kyle Kuzma and had a wide-open fast break, and as he was about to elevate, he slipped under the rim and lost.
That's not embarrassing. If he would have missed the dunk, that's more embarrassing, but that right there, that's just, I'm sure it's sweaty as hell under those baskets if you don't clean it up properly. That's my prediction.
The ball. Somehow teammate at the time, Andre Iguodala, recovered the loose ball and gave it right back to Steph as he was wide open for a corner three. On any other given night, this is a shot that Steph would love to take, but unfortunately, he made the situation even worse this time by airballing it. After the game, Curry spoke to reporters about his slip-up and said, "I have no idea. A kid walked into a candy store with the whole half court empty. I was going to try something real nice I hadn't tried before. The Lord wouldn't let me do it." Warriors coach Steve Kerr also spoke about the slip, saying, "You think Steph was lining up for a monster dunk? Have you seen Steph's dunks? I thought it was going to be one of those layups where he just pulls the net down a little bit to make it seem like he's on the rim. He's done a lot of those over the years. That was a tough moment for Steph. He's had a pretty good run so far in the NBA. It's going to happen at some point.
I do miss the Warriors, man.
Moments in this league if you play long enough." Now, despite Lance Stephenson no longer being
not the Kevin
in the
Durant
NBA,
Warriors,
the effect that he's had on the league with his ridiculous antics will live on forever. You could argue that a moment back in 2013 is what made him so famous across social media during a critical playoff series. At the time, Lance was with the Indiana Pacers and they were going up against the stacked Miami Heat team. It was the Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron and Lance were going at it all series, causing headlines. And ironically enough, Paul George was the star of Indiana at that time, but many were paying attention to Lance Stephenson. The main takeaway from this series was when Lance and LeBron both had their hands on their knees, and Lance started blowing in LeBron's ear during Game 5. This was something that many people questioned, as it was just a ridiculous way of trying to affect arguably the best player in the world at that time, and it continued to be a meme over 6 years later. However, back in 2018, Lance sat down for an interview with The Score, where he explained why he blew into LeBron LeBron's ear back in the day.
Wait, what did he do it
said,
for?
I don't regret it, but sometimes I look at it like, why did I do that? What made me do that? I was really trying to get him mad, like really trying to win the game, trying to get him like unfocused. I was trying anything. For you to do something to somebody and they don't respond, they just keep continuing and playing hard, and it's like, yo, how do I get in this guy's head? I was just trying to find stuff. It's actually funny that I'm on the same team. I'm very excited to see what that brings. Just
You'll be doing that shit during practice.
Players in the game. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to get on board. After Lance was dealt to the Lakers, the two of him and LeBron settled their differences and played together for a year, but they never really talked about the situation that made the duo so popular back in 2013. Now with LeBron James playing this year, he's become one of the longest tenured players in the NBA today, as well as one of the oldest, as he's turning 35 in late December. Now despite his age, LeBron's game hasn't had many flaws over the years, and he's still argued as a top player in the league each season, but a pretty ridiculous and embarrassing situation came recently. Over the last few seasons, many have felt that LeBron should just pull a Kobe and just go bald, just shave it off. You know, his hair has been spotted having issues time and time again. At the beginning of the 2019 season,
I don't know if the NBA is ready for a bald LeBron. I don't know if we're ready for that, man. Maybe someday, but
apparently had hair plugs and other hair surgeries to repair his lost hair, and in late October during a game between the Lakers and the Jazz at Staples Center, his hair started to fall out mid-game underneath the headband. Late in the game, while the Lakers were shooting free throws, you could see Anthony Davis yell something to LeBron from the bench, and then eventually pointed to his head trying to get LeBron to notice without making a scene. But everyone saw and everyone knew what this was about immediately. As LeBron got the hint and tried to fix the hair, the camera zoomed right up on his head with his hair looking completely messed up. Over the years, many have questioned what was going on with LeBron's head, as it's continued to change since his high school days. But recently, his barber weighed in on LeBron's current hairline situation and said, there's no hair dye, there's no additives, no preservatives. Everyone thinks he's dyeing his hair, using Tipperary hair colorings,
that shit that was falling out?
Black ice. It's all his hair. They still don't believe me. I get bigger comments all the time. I've become numb to it. It used to bother me. It's not that easy to hear. LeBron is very tedious about his own haircut. The beard is the #1 thing. He leaves the top up to me. I leave him a little less bald. He's my guy. He's my hardest haircut. He has good hair. You just have to cut it right. He has a few fat patches around the chin that you have to take your time with. You have to have patience. It usually takes about 50 minutes. Yo, bro, listen up. The reason LeBron's hairline.
Okay, that is the end of the video, but I'm just saying, like, what was going on? Okay, I can't find it now, but you all saw it, man. It's like, what's going on right there? Then if his hair is completely fine. So yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. This is a video about Rebound Central, by the way. Link to a channel in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.